On today's Minute of the Apes, it's less than a week to The Mandalorian Season 2.
Oh, cool.
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. Living with a divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want. War or peace?
The only good human is a dead human!
And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd, and that was Sean and Richard. You guys you're excited about the Mandalorian Season 2?
Well,
yes?
Oh, yeah.
Richard, you too?
Find out what happens with the child?
No, I'm not excited about it.
Wow, blasé Richard. I'm not excited.
No, I'm excited about it. I'm more excited about Tuesday of this week to talk about more apes. But let's get to this minute.
Yeah, let's go ahead
All
and
right.
jump in. We're on minute 86. So,
6 of the extended version.
yeah, we're sticking to the extended, but even no matter what, we've essentially got 3 minutes left, 86, 87, and credits. They kind of are in the same ballpark. So, Sean, according to the extended unrated version, tell us about minute 86.
All right, we're starting Minute 86 with Caesar saying, "Our own religion, our own dynasty," and ends with the governor looking up at his impending death.
All right, let's take a listen to minute 86 of the unrated version of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you now!
As in Minute 86, we got courtyards with the gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, Caesar, dead bodies all over the place, both human and ape, and I think we're about to add another one to the pile.
All right, so...
Oh, and there's no Armando.
According to because again, for those of you who don't know, we add in the playback still in post, so we haven't listened to it, but we watched it just a minute ago. How much is still said in this minute? How much dialogue is there in this minute? Because I know there's a lot of looking around and stuff, but how much is said?
You get to the end of Caesar's speech where he's talking about how he wants to do a reboot of Dynasty. I don't know why.
So we finished the last minute with, if based upon what Sean has the cut mark, we shall build our own cities. There will be no place for humans except to serve our own ends. We shall found our own armies. This minute picks up with our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you now. And then that's all.
And that the way he says that sounds so weird that, all right, we're going to plot and scheme for the day that man destroys himself, and guess what? That's today. And so you have no time to plot and scheme if your plotting and scheming is supposed to lead up to the destruction part.
It does bounce back on yesterday's point that the logic of what he's saying doesn't make any sense. The fire is going to cause smoke. We're going to let other apes riot, but then we're going to go into hiding, and you guys are going to be your undoing, and then we're going to build all these other things, and that starts now by not doing anything for another 2,000 years. Like it's a weird flow of logic just to get us to where the future movie is, or the first movie is.
I keep wondering in this moment with all this pontificating, who's he talking to? Because he's got Breck, He's got McDonald's.
You got McDonald's,
and
Lisa, and then
a bevy of people of gorillas and whatnot. That if you do their alternate cut, it sounds like the Charlie Brown adult thing. Wah 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 wah. They don't understand anything he's saying. They don't understand the grand plan.
Want, no. Want, go. Want, stay. Want.
Right. So, I guess he's speaking to us.
I kind of just rewatched the minute compared to what Sean is, and it's pretty much the same. I mean, it is the same. Like Caesar says this stuff, and then we get the rifle gun butts coming up. We get Breck down below as if he's about to get killed by the butts of the guns. He turns and looks up at the apes themselves that are about to kill him, not begging for anything, not asking for any mercy.
Well, they did kind of stretch that moment out, knowing this is the end of the movie. Everybody, all the apes slowly look down at Breck, and then Breck slowly turns his head. And before that, Caesar slowly turned away from McDonald.
To that point, this is one of the things that, again, who's he speaking to? Because when that moment occurs, when we start with Breck looking to them, there is no convergence of the apes have never backed off Breck. Caesar doesn't say anything like, "You're done, kill him." It's just all of a sudden this weird, he turns to him and he's kind of like, well, why? Why is he suddenly at that point afraid? Shouldn't Caesar give a command of something like kill? Shouldn't he do something? Instead, it's just everybody starts looking at each other and it becomes this game of look. Oh, we're going to do something.
Well, I mean, we're going to go back to Lisa being how the audience is supposed to feel, and she looks up in disbelief at Caesar's speech, and then she almost looks down at Breck or down to the ground almost in shame, as if this is not the place that she wanted it to go.
Right.
So if we're going from Lisa's perspective, then we're also in horror at who Caesar's become, and we are now ashamed of where it's going to go.
And if they really want the Lisa thing to pay off, and I do think the Lisa thing works, they should have, again, had a scene early on where we saw her soft, caring nature. Maybe when Caesar and she were together and he taught her to speak, maybe she did something that was caring towards someone else. She is empathetic. She is that person, so that when she begins to act like this, we have that visual knowledge from before, and it lets us say, oh, she's his conscience. She is this. But instead, she's just a weird little anomaly standing between them, and she's looking at stuff that, even though your actions and your read of that's right, I think,
I mean,
why is she there?
If you saw Lisa go up to Caesar while he's starting to pontificate and do his Shakespearean speech at the end about what's going to happen in the future of the apes and humans, she should have been slowly walking up to him, maybe stroking his arm or shoulder, put a hand on his shoulder. And as she does that, you see him start to calm down a little bit.
Well, they wanted him alone in this scene, I guess, intentionally, rather than have him surround, keep him above, almost godlike, or he's not interacting with anybody at this point. He's on his own. But it now becomes very apparent that he is hunched over like an ape and not upright as he should be. So it's a perversion of who Caesar is at this point, as opposed to himself. The script basically has, the dialogue is the same. We shall found our own armies, our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you. And then we're supposed to get a reverse angle down from Caesar's perspective, shooting from between Caesar and McDonald into the square. Below them, the square explodes into cries of still unsurfeited vengeance. And then the next part goes into what is Sean's next minute.
As you mentioned,
with Breck,
how Roddy is standing. If you had done the things that we've talked about, where he could have, when he talked to McDonald, stood up straight, and here I am, it would have been interesting had he begun to hunker down slowly, as though he was giving in to his base instinct. That would have been interesting. But instead, they just immediately go right to it. He's immediately in this more primal kind of, I am an ape, I am that, and it's just a missed opportunity of seeing him descend. He's descending into hell, and we don't have any acknowledgement of that.
So he's basically gone full Khaleesi at this moment, where a character you've liked the entire movie now suddenly makes no sense, and as a villain, you walked away kind of disappointed.
Yeah,
he's the Mad King now.
He's become that thing, which is unfortunate because you wanted to care about this character from the beginning. I mean, when have we gotten through one of these movies in which the main character goes from the sympathetic character to the villain? I mean,
and I like that.
Cornelius and Zero.
Go, I'm sorry.
You like that movies can do that. Can take a character you follow and then not necessarily make them the hero at the end.
Right. And I'm sorry, you were making a point.
I mean, all of the movies, do have a dark ending.
Yeah.
All of them end someplace in tragedy or darkness. They don't end on a happy note. So this is not uncharacteristic for the film to go there.
No.
But we haven't seen the hero, what we should be the hero, become the villain.
Let's take
I mean,
Escape.
there's.
Go ahead.
But,
no, please, you go ahead.
I didn't have anything else to say.
Quit being polite, boys. Just
okay.
talk.
Hey, fucker, shut up. I'm talking anyway. But let's look at Escape. To your point of that, it's earned where it goes by the end, even though we can point out some fallacies in how the people show up at the boat and the way they behave. Hassline has been on a hellish mission to silence this, to put this away. So when he comes in to shoot them and things like that occur, it makes sense. They have earned that ending. We've not seen anything where Caesar, who's raised by a good, kind man and starts off as a good, kind character, has had that kindness stripped away. We've not seen him earn the, hey, I tried to be good and kind and it didn't work and I had to keep going here until you would listen to me, which led to this. So
going along to get along has only brought us more slaves. Why would I want to do that? Yeah.
To your point, these films end on dark notes, and I like that. That's one of the reasons I love these films. If Caesar had just done a bit more falling instead of leaping.
Yeah. That's why I made the Khaleesi reference to Game of Thrones, when she just goes crazy and you're like, where did that come from? And you're like, they really needed 2 more episodes to explain how the character kind of descends to this place.
Right.
You could have had a little more time with Caesar. If I do like what this movie does. I do like where this movie goes and how it moves these characters around, but it is lacking some moments between the characters and some change in the characters to kind of let us follow their paths a little better.
And I agree. As we head into the final true minute of storytelling, I still will rank this amongst my favorite of the Planet of the Apes movies because I love the dark tone of it. I love what it's trying to say. I do have an opinion on which version I like better, and I'll share that tomorrow. But it does just leap from where it began its story to the end to get us to the end without a lot of explanation.
I'm excited about tomorrow because I want to. The theatrical versus the unrated cut. Yeah. I kind of want to put those together on a certain level.
I kind of do too.
Was I the only one whenever all the gorillas started looking down at the governor? The governor kind of turned his head over here. I go, "Hey boys, can we talk about this? I got some bananas in my pocket."
Well, I kind of wanted one of the gorillas, at that point to just scream at him because you get down to the primal instinct of a gorilla. They're all looking. I would love to have that upward shot of a gorilla with its mouth open, the teeth that are terrifying, and that scares him before what will occur. Whichever version you're watching, it'll occur tomorrow. But again, even that pacing of the entire scene is just kind of weird.
Well, you mentioned teeth specifically, and I will say that they were not very, very careful in these moments, both with Lisa and with Caesar, to not hide their own actual teeth.
Yes,
because the shots they wanted to get for both these characters, you can see both sets of teeth in both of the two actors.
Which that brings to my. I'm going to jump way back to see if you guys remember when Caesar was on the table getting shocked. And I asked you to look at the underside of his snout. I swore there was a little block there. I found that block is actually the breathe hole. I was watching something else, and they talked about that they built that in because it was getting so much condensation in there. So to that point, there are little moments where they give in to what the mask's shortcomings are. Nowadays, obviously, you would fix that with computer and post and whatnot. And you probably, again, you wouldn't put makeup on these people. But you're right. I mean, just like that little block that I noticed, you can see when Roddy's mouth is moving. There are times you can even see the lip enunciate beneath it, too. And I kind of noticed, even though it's painted black, you could see it.
It's the angles they chose, but there's also something more powerful happening between these characters in the moment.